and then we got Squid Games, and then the Telfar. So you can introduce Squid Games. You talk about it more.
I was about to ask you what you rated. Like we didn't actually get to an actual rating. What do you rate it, Levi? Out of 10.
I'll do 6, 7.
6, 7. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with
okay.
that. I'm with that 6.5, 7 max.
Oh yeah. Side note: if you are seeing this and you haven't seen Venom yet, don't waste your time. Anyways, 6, 7. Like, yeah, I'd probably say about a 6, 7. And it's another one of those things where it's like, I think it's overhyped, but I'm happy that it's getting as hyped up as it is, in the sense that I think it just kind of like opens up people's minds and people's interest to foreign cinema, you know, and not just with Korea and stuff, because a lot of people think the Korean stuff is like really, really good, and there's a lot more other shows on
Parasite,
Netflix.
right?
Huh?
Parasite was Korean, correct? Was he a Korean director? Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be wrong. Can we fact check that?
Yeah, no, he is. You could look it up, but yeah. Yeah, Parasite was Korean. This is, and then there's another show that I started watching. It got recommended to me after this, Alice in Borderlands, which has been on Netflix for a while.
Forever, yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
I watched the first episode and I was just like, okay, this is solid. Like this, yeah, this is solid. This is really solid. And it kind of just it makes me happy because not even just for them, but I just think it's gonna open up the doors for like any kind of like foreign media. Like you'll get the dub version so that people can actually like really watch it. Like I was always kind of upset that one of my favorite movies is called City of God, and that never had like a dub or anything. I don't think a lot of people really know too much about that movie or cared about it. But like if it would have came out now, I feel like it would have easily like been one of came out on Netflix, easily would have been one of their best movies, like period, like ever, you know. So I like what Squid Game means and stands for in the grand scheme of how people are viewing, you know, foreign cinema.
No, I feel you.
The show is good though. Like I say it's solid.
Yeah. So this is my only like thing. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have too much to do with Squid Games itself, but like I just feel like personally just weird how fast, I guess, life is just funny to me. A lot of things that they do are influenced by us, and by they I mean Asian culture, and a lot of things we do is influenced by them. And this movie, a lot of people were saying, was like kind of like head nods to a lot of big American films. You know, they have a lot of Matrix reference in there. I think somebody said some other references. So in a way, I'm like, they just took what we did and put their own spin on it, which we all do, you know? But at the same time, we're liking this show, not we, let me say that. The masses are liking this show due to a Korean woman, and that is foreign. So I'm like, isn't that just weird to you? Like, this is literally concepts that we already done, just different type of representation, and people are going crazy. And so it makes me think like, man, I guess cinema does have a real future because this is their way of telling their story, you know? So it makes me happy. But it also makes me be like, do I even like this show anymore? Like, it makes me think like, I don't know. Like, I got told you guys before, do I like what I watch on Netflix, or they just slapping top 10s everywhere? I don't know. It doesn't feel genuine anymore because, my nigga, this shit is everywhere. Yeah, although we talked about early on episodes that Netflix could easily push what I'm saying, like, hey, push the show, have good love interest, have good people looking good, and start posting them on Tumblr, this and the third, because it's, and I don't want it to sound bad, but to me, it's really easy for Americans to market the Asian culture, like extremely easy. You got K-pop going off right now. You got at least here in Atlanta, you got Asian fusions going on a lot that people love. A lot. Their food is like amazing. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying like I just feel like it's being really marketed hard right now. So it doesn't matter what you put out, people are gonna call it good. But taking it back to where we started, and that was Netflix, like, you know, being able to market anything. Me and Mars, and I think B may have been on the episode, I'm not too sure. But we were just saying like Netflix has everything you need, you know? Slap these shows with influencers. Slap these like people that look good in the cinemas and the videos, whatever, and make these like not accounts, but make the people that care about shit like that see it. Because I feel like Netflix wasn't doing that well. Now, on the other side of things, I just think like, was Squid Games ever really in the top 10, or did Netflix do that? Because I
definitely agree with you on the fact that they're like really pushing whatever. Like I definitely think Netflix has their agenda, and I don't think they're very. I think people are ignorant to it, but I don't think that Netflix is
trying to hide it.
Yeah, they're not trying to hide it.
Because I'm like I told you,
they just
it's odd because I'm like, this show just came. Well, Yeah, it just came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Even in
Everywhere.
Korea, even in the malls. Like, games are being done. I'm like, don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I love that Netflix is catching on what to do, what's right is wrong, and I love the fact that I think they're able to help these people push their ideals and the representation. It's all amazing.
They put in like, and this was back a little while, but they put in like, I don't know how many millions of dollars into literally just Korean stuff for Netflix. Yeah.
That's fire. So I love it. Representation is definitely needed. But it just makes me think, like, we had a discussion, like I said, I'm relating it all back to this in the sense of, like, do you like what you like? Like,
Yeah.
if I would have found this just on my own, would I have liked it? I think so. I think it's a really good concept. But would have the world have liked it if it wasn't pushed like this?
I don't think people would have sat through it, and that's
Yeah.
that's really the thing. Like, I think people will find it and be like, okay, this sounds interesting, but I think without that push, people is not like sitting through the
And
entire
I
show.
love that he said that. And the reason why I love that he said that, because I was going to use that as a part of my story with Parasite. Parasite was shot beautifully. Beautiful as fuck. There
Yeah.
was one point in the movie, I remember me and B kept looking at each other in the movie. They're like, this is what everybody's raving about, where it got super slow. Like, super fucking slow. And I think it was meant for you to understand what the working class or even the lower class are actually, you know, those parts
Yeah.
in the movies where it's like, we
Yeah.
want you guys to feel what they feel. But to me, I didn't care because it was already set from the beginning of the movie. I'm one of those people. That's just me. After you show it, express it, set the tone, I get it. But they kind of went about showing to you again, like, no, we want you to understand fully, which is fine. But to me, I was like, damn, this is kind of slow. Like, I get it. I get the full concept here. Let's keep it rolling. It didn't go like that. To me, went from up, then flat as hell. Then, like, the last, I would say, like, 30 to an hour, it just went back up, you know? So I agree with what Mars is saying. I don't think a lot of people would have sat through this with the translation, plus how it started. It wasn't like an instant start, which I was shocked about. I give him points for that, by the way. Good points for that. Because I was sitting there watching with JoJo. I'm like, I'm surprised the game didn't start yet. That's the vibe I got from the show, that they weren't going to dive too much into their personal lives, but they did. You know, so
It was a nice, and that's why I want to give it credit, because it was like that nice setup, and then when they all left the game, it was more like, you know, personality that you got from these different characters.
I personally think the show is done well, and I've always noticed that Netflix first season shows that do well always look better the second season. Always. So I'm really interested to see second season. I know there's gonna be a second season. There's too much hype. There's too much money on the table. There's gonna be a second season. Okay, so I knew from the jump, watching it, especially with the hype, you know, around that there's gonna be a second season. I kept that in my mind, and I'm like, I'm interested. I really am. I gave it a 7. I'm not saying it's a bad 7. I gave it a 7 because I don't think the rave behind it is worth the rating that everybody wants to give it. But that doesn't take away from the show. I give it a 7. One, because I do think there's a lot of flaws in the show, but I did at least, got the translation version of it.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
true. That's a very true point.
And so I don't want to, you know, just take stabs at the show without giving it its justice. So overall, I love the ending. I love, like, probably the last 2-3 episodes. I just feel like,
Really, you love the ending.
yeah, I do.
Oh
I really
yeah,
do.
that's the reason why I dropped it a little bit, because I didn't like that
Oh, you
ending.
didn't like that he turned around?
No, I didn't.
Spoiler
I
alert.
didn't.
He said that already.
I didn't say that on
No,
here.
no, you said that if you watch the show that we're gonna. You gave like a disclaimer.
Oh yeah.
it's-
yeah.
yeah.
Spoiler.
He
whatever.
gave a
It's
disclaimer.
spoiled, but it's fuck it. Y'all will be all right.
Yeah. So the reason why I loved it, like I said, I had it in mind when I was watching that it was gonna be open for interpretation. They wouldn't leave it on an ending where, like, they can come back to it. And I always like endings like that. Don't set up something next time, because I feel like when you set something up for the next time, you have to stick to it. But if you leave it open, the creativity is, you know what I mean? You can go wherever you want. So with me giving them the 7 and me appreciating the creative value in the show, I think that next season will be amazing. I don't see myself not rating it lower than, not rating it a 10, 9 or 10 at least the next season. But yeah, I like him walking away from the plane, and I love the scene when he's talking to old man before he dies. Like, I just feel like,
Oh no, that was a top tier scene.
like that, it was just like, you know, you have hope on humanity still. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? After everything you've been through, you still have hope. You know, I love that, and the fact that they use, like, bro, it was hands down amazing. Just when it got out of the game, I don't know why. To me, I was just like, this is hard, because after everything he's been through, they didn't just like have it, which I think is kind of normal sometimes when you're having like him talking to somebody or him writing down his emotions or something for him to get what you already saw but off his mind. No, they literally showed it to you metaphorically. Like, hey, he still has hope in this world.
Yeah.
He still bet money or whatever the case had to be. Not money, but
someone would help that nigga outside.
he still bet information that he wanted that somebody would help him, and they did get help. And I also felt like that was like way more symbolic on the whole show than anything else they did. Like
Yeah, definitely.
timing, the fact that there's someone to help them, but it was late. Old man dying in the sense that when he wasn't able to see the world change. Like that to me, that one scene just killed the show to me. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
So
I think that next season, just based off of that concept being like, oh, there is still hope, and the hope kind of being
Exactly.
personified by Gian, his character. I think the next season is gonna be about like killing that nigga's hope.
yeah, so
I feel like it's gonna
that's
be
what-
darker. I don't know how they go get darker, but I think that's what's gonna happen.
That's what I don't think. I can be wrong, but I feel like the next season will basically play along what I forgot to pronounce his name, but the main character,
Yeah.
what is a testament to his faith, like how far is he willing to go for his beliefs and what he thinks is the betterment of the people. That's what I think is going to be, because I would assume there's no way of him getting in that game easily. I would, if it's come right back because you won. Okay, you might be right, but I believe that he's gonna have to do the most.
Yeah.
And have to offer up probably his own money, his own everything, and just the willingness to do this, and also learn that, hey, yeah, you may have the information and you may have been through this already, so you're trying to warn people, but those people still want what they want. And that's why I'm so interested to see season 2.
Because that's the same thing that I'm saying, I think.
Oh, really? I didn't get
with
that
him,
vibe.
I feel like he's gonna see people, like he's gonna be trying to stop people to play the game. He's gonna be trying to stop the game, whatever, do what he does, But when it doesn't work, how is that gonna change his view on hope and humanity?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess how I'm looking at it, you did say it, we're saying the same thing essentially.
Yeah.
But how I'm looking at it is more like what he's gonna be sacrificing for that is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the show's gonna show the money losing, maybe him
Yeah.
cutting his hair. He lost his daughter. All try to warn people, and that's why I love that the old man episode so much, because it's still gonna reference that he's still believing he can change this world when there's people still viewing it the same way, regardless of the information. You can't, if a nigga tell you here's $1 million, but you're not gonna love it. You're gonna have a hell of a life. It's gonna come with problems. You're still taking that $1 million. Don't matter what. You feel me? And I feel like that's like what's the word I'm looking for? The comparison. What you call these two things? The juxtaposition or whatever. Juxtapose.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I love it so much, because the old man's mindset is everyone's mindset, but they're trying to hide it. Like, oh, I have a child, so that's why I think like this. I bet everything on college didn't work out. No, you may have went different routes to come to my mindset as an old man, but it's still the fucking same. Like he said, he gave everybody a choice to leave. Kinda not. He gave you a choice to say yes or no. Kinda not. But that's life. You
Yeah.
feel me? So to me, it shows that those niggas
And
in
everybody
there,
chose to come
Yeah.
back. Like that's
those
the biggest
niggas in
thing.
there to me all have the same mindset, regardless of how you want to put it down on paper or how you want to say it. No, you chose money.
Yeah.
You fucking chose money. That's
what,
it.
That's what I love about that part, like where they all got to leave the game. I think
That-
most
that-
people didn't see that coming, that they got to leave and that they would come back. But for me, I was just like, oh yeah, they all come back.
Yeah, I mean,
all them niggas is coming back.
I understand
Like,
the show. I like that too. Between, like I said, the ending half of the episodes, outside of those, I like Tug of War Game, and I like the fact they let them leave. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Of course, when they left, I knew they were coming back, but the fact that was even offered was amazing. Like there was some real thought into that, and that
Yeah.
that
And
showed
I feel like that took a risk on
Yeah.
like people staying with that show.
Yeah.
Like, that was really well
because
done.
that came down to a slower moment. Although it wasn't that slow, but it came
Yeah.
down to a slower moment. So I feel like I said, I'm really interested to see season 2. I will be shocked if I feel like it's anything less than a 9, especially how they left it so open ended. And I do believe his character development, his acting, his everything is gonna be like really have to be on cue, because I would assume he's not giving away like, physically, but I feel like he's giving away his childhood and everything, his kids, everything for
Yeah.
the belief of trying to help these people and trying to stop what was going on. So I'm interested to see it, man, and I'm also interested to see where the fuck my nigga went when he jumped off that fucking cliff or got shot off the cliff. He's definitely not dead. So yeah, the police officer.
Oh yeah,
the police officer's not dead.
I forgot about that. I forgot.
That's the only thing that tipped me off about old man not being dead. I told JoJo, as soon as old man died, I was like, where's his body? They made sure in that whole show, you seen
Yeah.
everybody die.
Yeah.
Regardless if they were random or not.
All those
you
boxes,
seen
yeah.
everybody die. And I was like, no old man, no police, bruh.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, you literally seen side characters. You seen everybody die.
And I like that they didn't really explain, like, they didn't explain some very like key things
No, but
that
definitely,
like really
the
builds that
bodies,
hype.
yeah.
The bodies.
The
Why
organ
was
donating.
his brother that was the front man? I think is what his character
he
is
never
called.
said anything.
Like, what
Why is it triangle square, right? Is it
Yeah.
X2?
triangle, square, and
Circle?
then-
Circle, yeah. Why do they have those shapes? They end up being younger people than they thought. There's a lot of questions. That's all those questions they were asking were made for season 2.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they definitely had it in mind, man. It's like I said, it's a good show. I just don't know if it's worth the hype yet.